Hi, Clarity family. Welcome to your reading. Welcome back if you're OG, and welcome in if you're new. You already know how we do it over here. No fluff, no fantasy, no chasing energy, just clarity. Period. Today, we're getting straight to it. We're answering one question and one question only. How does he view you right now? Not last week, not when he was texting heavy. How does he see you today? And listen, we're not guessing. We're going to read this man. We're going to see what's really going on. We're going to find out because some of y'all already feel it. Something shifted, something clicked, something changed. And before we even start, yes, stay until the end because the total energetic frequency is going to tell you whether this connection actually has legs or if this man is about to fumble something real. So don't move. All right. Now, real quick, before we jump in, I need you to choose your pile. You've got 3 cards, okay? 3 energies. Don't overthink it. Let it pull you. Pile 1, teal blue glass crystal and the 2 of Pentacles. Pile 2, pink glass crystal, 4 of Pentacles. Pile 3, clear glass crystal, clear quartz, Page of Pentacles. So pick the one that keeps pulling your attention. And yes, call me Joshua the Mouse because we're about to sneak around this man's thoughts. All right? So let's go ahead and dive into it. Pile 1, teal blue glass crystal, plus the 2 of Pentacles. Welcome to your reading. Y'all already know I'm going to read this man. We're going to find out. But real quick, pause for just 1 second. A lot of y'all have been asking me to keep my 3 for $33 open, and I'm going to do it for a limited time. 3 questions, $33. You can ask about this man, a new connection, your career, your money, your future. Any grounded, real advice, I got you, right? Because there's a lot that I can tell you one-on-one that I cannot say out loud on YouTube. If you know, you know. Details are in the description. All right, so let's get back to you. Your energy draws you here to the 2 of Pentacles. And this already tells me a whole lot. This is Earth energy. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And even if that's not his sign, this energy is sitting strong in his chart or his mindset. Now, let me tell you what this really means. This man knows you have options and not the fake kind. You are not sitting around waiting. You're not begging. You're not chasing. And he sees that. That's why he's watching you. That's why he's recalculating. That's why his energy feels a little unstable because you're balanced and he's trying to keep up. You're physically attractive. Yes. But more than that, you are mentally flexible, emotionally grounded, and you don't fold under pressure. This man knows if he plays games, you will pivot. And that messes with him. Now listen, this is just the surface because we got 6 more cards to go. And each one is going to peel back another layer of how this man actually feels versus what he shows. The next card is going to tell us what he's not saying out loud. And trust me, that's where it gets interesting. So stay with me, all right? So let's go ahead and pull your first card. This first card is going to reveal what this man is privately thinking about you when nobody else is around, when he's quiet, when he's scrolling, and when he's alone in his thoughts. And yeah, this one might hit. Okay, so let's do it. And let me just say this before I continue. After all 6 cards, the total energetic frequency of this connection right? We're going to find out if this connection is actually stable or if this man is realizing he's in deeper than he planned. So let's go. All right. This is the energy of card 1. And you have the gem. And that's GEM. All right. So let's go ahead and pull card 2. And then we will channel both energies together. All right, you got free spirit. So let's go ahead and tap into the energy of the gem, and then we'll slide here into free spirit. All right, pile 1. This is the energy of card 1, right? And you pulled the gem, okay? As in rare, not regular, not average. This is giving, you're not something he can just find again. You're not. Let's be real. When this man looks at you, he sees value, not surface level value. I'm talking substance. See, because you shine without trying. You stand out without forcing it. And you're polished, but still real. And here's the part people miss. A gem doesn't chase attention. It attracts it. That's how he sees you. You're someone that upgrades a man's life, his image, his mindset, his confidence. And he knows that. But now let's keep going because I'm not stopping there. So let's go ahead and tap into the energy of card 2. And then we're going to blend these energies together because that's where the truth lives, all right? So you got free spirit. Oh yeah, this just got interesting. Let's talk about this. The energy blend, gem plus free spirit, okay? He sees you as rare and untamed. You are not boxed in. You're not owned. You're not stuck. You move how you want. You think how you want. You live how you want. And listen, that does 2 things to a man. It attracts him deeply and it scares him a little because you can't be controlled. You can't be guilted. You can't be manipulated. You're a gem, but you're not locked in a case. You're the type that says, I choose you, but I don't need you. And woo, that hits different. This man knows if he messes this up, you won't spiral. You'll keep living. You'll keep glowing. You'll keep moving forward. And that's exactly why he's paying attention now. But wait, and this is still just the setup. Because the next card is going to tell us how he acts when he realizes he can't cage you. Does he rise to the level or does he start acting funny? All right. Listen, we got 4 more cards to go. And after that, that total energetic frequency is going to tell you if this man, right, is this man ready for a woman like you? Or is he realizing you might be out of his league? All right. So let's do it. What is the energy as it does relate? And let's see what's coming through. All right, this is card 3. You got strength. The strength card, baby girl. Okay, say less. Right? Yeah. Pause with me for a second. Because this card is loud AF. All right. This is how he views you. When this man looks at you, he doesn't see chaos. He doesn't see stress. He doesn't see drama. He sees soft power. This is, I want to protect her energy. This is, She's precious energy. This is, I got to be careful with her energy. And let me be clear. This is not him looking down on you. This is him recognizing your femininity, your warmth, your emotional intelligence, your natural magnetism. You're playful, but not foolish, sweet, but not naive, soft, but absolutely not weak. That's why this card came out after Gem and Free Spirit, because you're not just rare, you're pure in your intentions. And that messes with him. What's really going on in his head? This man knows you're not hardened. You're not jaded. And you're not bitter. And in today's world, that's rare. So now he's thinking, do I step up? Do I mess this up? Do I deserve access to her? Because baby girl energy, listen, it doesn't stay long where it's not cherished. And he feels that. But listen, don't get comfortable yet, because the next card is going to tell us how he responds to this realization. Does he protect this energy, or does he get overwhelmed and pull back? Okay, we're not done. We got 3 more cards plus the total energetic frequency. And that frequency is going to tell you whether this connection can actually hold on, or if you're meant to stay light, unattached, and moving. Let's go. What is the energy as it does relate? All right. Thank you, Spirit. What is coming through? What is coming through, y'all? What is the energy as it does relate? You got pride. That part. Is this the type of man that has a lot of pride, y'all? Listen. Clarity, family. This man's feelings for you are real, but his ego is right there with them. He wants to look strong, right? He wants to feel in control, and he wants to be the one who has it together. And when he looks at you, he's impressed. He's attracted. He's emotionally pulled in. But his pride kicks in like, hold on. Don't show too much. Because you don't chase. You don't over-explain. And you don't beg for attention. So now he's measuring himself. Am I enough for her? Can I show up without looking vulnerable? And do I make the first move, or do I wait? That's pride. Now, how pride shows up in his actions. This is the man who thinks before he texts, who rewrites the message, who wastes an extra hour just so it doesn't look like he cares too much. And not because he doesn't care, but because he does. And that's the twist. His pride doesn't come from arrogance. It comes from not wanting to be seen as the one who wants more. Because once he admits that, he's exposed. But listen, this matters. Because the next card is going to tell us whether this pride is something he can soften, or if it's the very thing that blocks him. We've got 2 more cards and then the total energetic frequency. And baby, like I said, that frequency is going to tell you if this connection moves forward or if pride keeps this man stuck in his own way. Let's go. What is the energy as it does relate? What's coming through? You got the 11th house. This is an astrological house in your astrological birth chart. Everyone, there are 12 houses in an astrological birth chart, and I'm going to explain the 11th house and what it is and how it relates to how this man views you. okay? Because this is deep. This is the house of community, right? So listen, how he views your 11th house energy. Let me say it again. This is just a quick astrology moment, okay? There are 12 houses in an astrological birth chart, and each one rules a different area of life. The 11th house rules, right? It rules friendships, social circles, community, future visions, and where is this going energy. Now, listen carefully. When this man looks at you, he doesn't just see attraction, he sees potential alignment. This is, I could actually build with her energy. This is, she fits into my world energy. This is, she'd elevate my circle energy. You're not just someone he wants behind closed doors. No, he's thinking, how would she look in my life? How would she move around my people? How would she fit into my future? And that's big, okay? Because the shift, right, this creates for him is the 11th house is forward thinking. So now his energy is less about impulse and more about long-term impact. You make him think beyond the moment, beyond chemistry, beyond attraction. You activate the part of him that asks, is this someone I keep or someone I lose? And that's why things feel slower, more intentional, more measured. Not because he's unsure about you, but because he knows you matter. But hold on, because the next card is going to tell us what this man is afraid of losing if he chooses you. And after that, we're going straight into the total energetic frequency, right? Where I'm going to tell you exactly how this connection plays out. Let's go. What is the energy as it does relate? What is coming through? Let's find out, y'all. What is the energy, spirit? As it does relate. All right, you got Ace of Coins. Ace, honey, of coins, right? More earth energy. You started with earth energy, the pentacles, and the pentacles is the same as coins. And your reading is ending with earth energy, but the highest level. So let me explain to you what this is, because this is not light. Okay. Listen. Pentacles are earth energy. It's Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. They rule stability, consistency, real world effort, long-term value. And an ace, that's a new beginning, a seed, a tangible offer. So when it shows up as the closing energy, here's the truth. This man doesn't just see you emotionally, he sees you practically. He sees you as someone he could actually build something real with. Not fantasy, not let's see where it goes, not vibes only. This is, I could invest here energy. Yes, so how he views you at the highest level, this man sees you as someone worth showing up for, someone who brings value to his life, someone who upgrades his future, someone who represents growth, not loss. And notice the progression of the reading. Okay, gem, rare value, free spirit, not controlled, right? Pride, his ego wrestling with desire. You have that soft, cherished energy. The 11th house, future vision, ace of coins, real world potential. That's not accidental. That's evolution. Okay, so the total energetic frequency here is this. This connection is real, but it requires maturity. This man knows you're valuable. He knows you're rare. He knows you bring something solid. The only question left, Can he put his pride down and actually plant the seed? Because the opportunity is there. The door is open, and earth energy doesn't rush. But when it commits, it's real. If this reading hit, you already know why. And again, 3 for $33, limited time. If you want clarity that goes deeper than what I can say here, that's where we do the real work. All right, Clarity family, protect your value. Don't overextend your energy. And remember, you are the investment. Hi, Clarity family. Pile 2, welcome to your reading. Y'all already know what time it is. We're not guessing. We're not romanticizing. We're going to read this man and we're going to find out. This reading is all about how he views you right now. Not what he says, not what he hints at, not what he posts. How he actually sees you. And yeah, the energy you picked, that already tells me everything. But real quick, a lot of y'all have been asking me to keep my 3 for $33, and I am, for a limited time. 3 questions, 1 price. You can ask about this man, a new relationship, your career, your money, your future, real, grounded, direct. There's a level of clarity I can give you one-on-one that I can't fully say out loud here on YouTube. And if you know, you know, okay? The details are in the description. All right, back to you. Now, your core energy, pink glass crystal, 4 of Pentacles. Let me just say this, honey. This is earth energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And the 4 of Pentacles, this card is about holding, protecting, securing, guarding, right? Guarding value. And here's the thing he notices about you. You don't overgive. You don't overshare. You don't let everybody all the way in. You're warm, but not loose. Open, but not reckless. Soft, but very self-contained. And that messes with him because he can't just read you in 5 minutes. He can't just access you emotionally on demand. See, because you make him work for proximity, and he sees that. What he clocks about you. This man notices that you protect your time, protect your energy, protect your peace. You don't explain yourself twice. You don't move from scarcity. You don't panic. You don't cling. And the 4 of Pentacles tells me something else too. He knows you don't need him. And for some men, that's intimidating. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Because this card doesn't just tell us how you move. It tells us how he reacts to a woman who doesn't give access easily. And that's why you got 6 more cards. Each one is going to peel back another layer. What he's holding back, what he's afraid to lose, and whether this connection opens or stays locked. So let's go ahead and pull your first card. This card is going to show us whether this man is emotionally guarded or if he's already attached and trying not to show it. Because listen, there's a big difference between I'm protecting myself and I already care more than I planned. All right, and once this card speaks, everything else is going to make sense. So let's go. Thank you, Spirit. What is the energy as it does relate? Card 1. You got the storm. All right, so we're going to go ahead and pull card 2. And we're going to channel both energies together. All right. And you got all good things are wild and free. Honey, all good things are wild and free. Okay, so let's go ahead and tap into the energy of the storm, and then we'll slide here to wild and free. That part. Now listen. Um, the storm energy and how he experiences you. Let's talk about it. When this man looks at you, he doesn't see easy. He doesn't see predictable. He doesn't see boring. He sees impact. You shake things up without trying. Your presence disrupts his emotional comfort zone. See, because this is the kind of energy where you make him feel things he thought he was done feeling, and you bring up emotions he had tucked away. You challenge the version of himself that stays guarded. And storms don't ask permission. They come in, they clear things out, and suddenly nothing feels the same. That's how you hit him. Now, what the storm does to him, you activate his nervous system. You activate his heart. You activate his awareness. And for a man who likes control, who likes order, who likes knowing where he stands, you are the variable he can't predict, which leads us perfectly into the next energy. Wild and free, the other half of how he sees you. All good things are wild and free. And yes, that's exactly how he sees you. You don't move from fear, and you don't shrink yourself to be chosen. You don't tame your spirit to make others comfortable. You are self-directed. And here's the contradiction that messes with him. You are emotionally deep, but energetically unattached. You don't cling. You don't hoover, and you don't wait around. You live your life. The blend, storm, plus wild and free. So when we put these together, he sees you as powerful, uncontainable, liberating, and slightly dangerous to his emotional control. Not dangerous in a bad way. Dangerous in a this could change my life way. Because storms change landscapes. And wild things don't belong in cages. And he knows that if he tries to hold you too tight, you'll slip through his fingers. Where this is heading. Okay? Now the story deepens. Because the next card is going to show us how he responds to this combination. Does he try to ground the storm? Or does he step back because it feels like too much? The answer to that is going to shape everything about this connection. And once all 6 cards speak, the total energetic frequency will tell us whether this man rises to meet your energy or whether you were meant to remain wild, free, and untouched. All right? So let's do it. Let's drop card 3. All right. Okay, y'all. Let's see. Do I have the right? No, I don't. I want to go here. What is the energy as it does relate? No, I'm right. This is here. What is the energy as it does relate? You got the 9 of Cups. Cup energy is water. It's emotional, so it does resonate with the water zodiacs, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. So of course, that energy, that emotional and sensitive energy could be in the top placements of his birth chart or yours, right? It could be in the sun, moon, rising sign, 7th house of relationships, or even the planet Venus, right? But Here's the thing. The Nine of Cups energy and how he feels about you. This is wish fulfillment energy. When this man thinks about you, he feels good, not anxious, not stressed, not depleted. He feels satisfied. He feels validated. He feels emotionally full. You're not a problem he's trying to solve. You're a feeling he enjoys returning to. And that's important because this tells me something very specific. You're not chasing him. He's enjoying you. Your presence feels like a reward. It's like relief. Like, yeah, this feels right. As it compares to other people he's experienced. Now, what this means with the earlier cards, let's connect this back. Okay? Because the Four of Pentacles, you don't give access easily. Storm. You shake him emotionally. Wild and free. You're not controlled. Nine of Cups. And yet, you feel good to him. That's the contradiction. You challenge him, but you don't drain him. You excite him, but you don't destabilize him. So now his internal dialogue looks like, this feels good, but can I hold on to it? He's unsure if he can hold on to the connection. Now, the subtle truth here. Nine of Cups is also self-focused card, a self-focused card. So let's keep it real. Right now, he's enjoying how you make him feel. He's savoring your energy. He's sitting in the pleasure of the connection. And the question that's forming underneath the surface is, does he move from enjoyment into responsibility? Or does he try to keep things exactly as they are? And that's what the next cards are going to clarify. Because enjoyment is one thing, investment is another. Let's go. What is the energy as it does relate? Thank you, Spirit. As we do slide into card 4. What is the energy as it does relate? Let's see what's coming through. All right, health. The card says health. And listen, this is not just physical. This is energetic, emotional, nervous system health. Let's talk about it. Health, energy, and how he experiences you. When this man is around you or even thinking about you, his system calms down. You regulate him. Your energy doesn't spike anxiety. It doesn't create chaos. It doesn't drain him. It stabilizes him. It grounds him. It brings him back into his body. And coming after the Nine of Cups, this tells me something important. You don't just feel good, you feel safe to his nervous system. That's rare. What he clocks, but may not say. This man notices that conversations with you feel lighter. His breathing slows when you're around. He doesn't feel like he has to perform. He doesn't feel judged. You're not another emotional project. You're not another lesson. You are restorative. And that's why the Four of Pentacles energy makes sense. Because he knows not everybody gets access to you, which makes him value you more. Now, connecting the story so far, let's go ahead and connect the dots without forcing anything. You're contained, the Four of Pentacles. You shake him up emotionally, the storm. You refuse to be owned, wild and free. You feel good to him, 9 of Cups. And now you feel healthy. That combination, that's not casual energy. That's the kind of energy that makes a man rethink what he's been tolerating elsewhere. Now, where this is heading naturally, at this point in the reading, something is very clear. This man doesn't see you as a complication. He sees you as a reset. The remaining cards are going to show us whether he's capable of protecting what he feels healthy, what feels healthy, or whether he's only comfortable visiting it. And once the final cards land, the total energetic frequency will make the answer obvious. So let's go ahead and bring in the next card. Thank you, Spirit. What is the energy as it does relate? Let's see what's coming through. And you got Pluto, the planet Pluto, the planet of transformation. I'm going to tell you about Pluto, what zodiac sign it represents, and how this energy makes sense for how this man views you. Okay? Now, Pluto, yeah, this is big energy. So let me break it down clean and real. Okay, Pluto is the planet of transformation, death and rebirth, power, intensity, and truth. It rules Scorpio in astrology. Okay, now when I say death and rebirth, it's not necessarily physically. A lot of people become afraid when you say death. No, it means the end of a cycle and the beginning of something new. Okay, so this is not light energy. This is not casual energy. This is not just vibes. When Pluto shows up, it means something changes permanently. So when this man looks at you, he feels altered. He feels exposed. He feels like he can't go back to who he was before. And that's why his energy around you feels serious, even when he's quiet. What Pluto does inside him, Pluto brings things to the surface that people avoid. With you, he's forced to look at his emotional patterns, his fears around control, his attachment style, his honesty with himself. You don't let him stay shallow. You trigger self-awareness. And that's uncomfortable for someone who prefers emotional safety. This is why earlier we saw storm, emotional disruption, 9 of Cups, pleasure, health, regulation. Pluto says this isn't just enjoyable. This is transformative. Now, how this makes sense for how he sees you. He doesn't see you as someone he can lightly walk away from, even if he's tired. Because Pluto energy marks people. You represent a turning point, a line in the sand, a before and after moment. That's why his pride got activated earlier. That's why he's careful. Because deep down he knows if he lets you in fully, he will have to change. Now, what this sets up next is this. At this stage, the story is clear. You feel good. You feel healthy. And now you feel inevitable. The final card will tell us whether he embraces the transformation or resists it. And once that card lands, we'll move straight into the total energetic frequency where everything comes together. So let's go ahead and pull your final message. Thank you, Spirit. What is the energy as it does relate? let's see what's coming through. All right, you got the Eight of Swords. All right, so listen. And this right here, this is the truth layer. The Eight of Swords energy, how he's experiencing you. This card is about mental restriction, not actual limitation. So let me say this clean. He's not stuck because of you. He's stuck inside his own head. When it comes to you, his thoughts loop. He overthinks. He second guesses himself. And not because he doesn't feel it, but because he feels it too clearly. And that's what makes him hesitate. Now, how this connects to everything else. Let's line this up. A Four of Pentacles. He knows you don't give easy access. Okay? You don't. The Storm. You disrupt his emotional comfort. Wild and free. You can't be controlled. Nine of Cups. You feel good to him. Health. You regulate him. Pluto. You transform him. Eight of Swords. And now his mind is the cage. This man is caught between, I want this, and am I ready for what this requires? Because choosing you means choosing growth. And growth asks for courage. The reality of the Eight of Swords. Here's the part that matters most. The Eight of Swords is self-imposed. No one is blocking him. No one is stopping him. There's no real barrier here. The only thing in the way, his fear of making the wrong move, his fear of losing control, his fear of not being enough. And he knows once he steps forward, there's no pretending this is casual. Now, the total energetic frequency for pile 2 is this. You are a catalyst, not a cage. This man sees you as emotionally fulfilling, Nine of Cups, energetically healthy, health, deeply transformative, Pluto. But transformation requires action. Right now, he's standing at a mental crossroads. And not because the connection is unclear, but because the stakes feel real. If he moves towards you, his life changes. And that's the decision he's wrestling with. Pile 2, the message is simple. Don't shrink. Don't unlock doors that were meant to stay protected. Don't explain your value. If this connection is meant to evolve, it will require his courage, not your overgiving. And again, 3 for $33, limited time. If you want clarity that goes beyond that, what can be said publicly, that's where the deeper layer comes through. Clarity family, honor your energy, trust what you feel, and remember, you don't trap people, you awaken them. Hi, Clarity family. Welcome to your reading. Welcome in, welcome back. You already know what we do over here. Today, we're answering one question, and we're answering it for real. How does this man view you right now? Not how he acted, not what he hinted at, how he actually sees you. And I already know some of y'all feel like something is forming, but it hasn't fully landed yet. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. But real quick, pause with me. A lot of y'all have been asking me to keep my 3 for $33, and I am for a limited time. 3 questions, 1 price. You can ask about this man, a new connection, your career, your money, your future. If you just need grounded life coaching, I got you. because there's a level of clarity I can give you personally that I can't always say out loud here, right? I feel, if you feel pulled, you already know why. Details are in the description. All right, so let's get into you. Listen, your energy, you chose the clear quartz crystal, which is clarity, truth, and amplification, and you paired it with the Page of Pentacles. Let me just say this, that this man sees you as new potential, not new as in immature, new as in fresh, promising, different from what he's used to. You activate curiosity in him. He looks at you and thinks, this could grow. And that matters. What he clocks about you immediately. The Page of Pentacles is earth energy. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. It's about learning, investment, effort, and beginnings that matter. He notices that you are grounded, are intentional, don't rush intimacy, and move with purpose. You don't oversell yourself. You don't force connection. You let things unfold, and that makes him pay attention. Now listen, this isn't a surface level pile because you've got 6 cards coming up. And each card, right? Each one is going to show us how this man goes from noticing you to thinking about you to deciding what to do about you. So let's go ahead and pull card 1. And this card is going to tell us what this man is quietly curious about when it comes to you. Not what he's acting like, not what he's saying, what he's wondering. Because curiosity is the seed. And once that seed is planted, things start moving. Okay, so let's go ahead and do it. What is the energy as it does relate? Let's see what's coming through. Your first card is the Destroyer. The Destroyer energy, card 1. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pull card 2, and then we will channel both energies together. All right. And card 2 is Creatrix, Creatrix. So let's go ahead and start with the energy of the Destroyer, and then we will slide here to Creatrix. Yeah, the Creatrix Matrix. Let's do it, y'all. Look, this is a combo. This is a whole storyline, okay? Now let's talk about the Destroyer because people misunderstand this card. This is not chaos for no reason. This is necessary endings. When this man looks at you, something in him breaks down. And I don't mean in a weak way. You challenge his old patterns, his outdated beliefs, his comfort zones, his "this is just how I am" mindset. You don't fit into the boxes he built before you. So unconsciously, you trigger a moment like, yeah, that old version of me, that can't exist here. And that's uncomfortable because you don't accept half effort. You don't entertain potential without action. You don't romanticize bare minimum. You destroy the illusion that he can stay the same. What this looks like in real life. This is the man who rethinks his past relationships, questions his emotional habits, feels exposed around you, can't bring old energy into your space. You don't argue. You don't demand. Your presence alone says, level up or step aside. Now, let's slide into the Creatrix. Card 2. This is where it gets good Because right after destruction comes creation. The creatrix is divine feminine creation energy, life force, possibility, vision. So after you dismantle what doesn't work for him, you awaken what could. See, because he sees you as someone who could help him build a new version of himself, not by fixing him, but by inspiring him. You make him imagine a different kind of relationship, a more intentional future, a softer, more aligned life. And you represent potential with substance. The blend. Destroyer plus creatrix. So when we put these together, here's how he truly views you. You are not safe, but you are right. You end what no longer serves him, and you open the door to something better. That's why the Page of Pentacles made sense at the beginning, because this connection doesn't start loud. It starts intentional. It asks, am I willing to grow or not? Now, here's the thing. Not everyone is ready for both destruction and creation. The next cards are going to show us whether he resists the change or whether he leans into becoming something new. And once all 6 cards are down, the total energetic frequency will make it very clear whether this connection is meant to be built or whether you were meant to be the catalyst that changes him, then moves on. All right? So let's go ahead and bring in card 3. What is the energy as it does relate? And let's see what's coming through. Card 3. Card 3 is the 9 of Wands. Girlfriend. Okay. Now, I just want to be clear. I said 9 of Wands energy. Now, the reason I repeated this is because you need to understand what's happening here. Listen. The 9 of Wands is battle-tested energy. This man sees you and feels like, I've been through some things, and I don't want to mess this up. He's guarded, but not closed. Tired, but not checked out. Cautious, but still standing. This is the man who's been hurt before, burned before, disappointed before. And when he looks at you, he straightens up. He braces himself. He tells himself, stay sharp. Not because you're a threat, but because you matter. Now, how this connects to the earlier cards. Let's layer this clean. Okay, the destroyer. You dismantle what no longer works. The creatrix. You offer something new and real. 9 of Wands. He wants this, but he's protecting himself. This is not a man who's indifferent. This is a man who's saying, I've come too far to repeat old mistakes. And that's why his energy can feel a little defensive at times. Now, what he clocks about you here, he sees you as worth the effort, worth the patience, and worth standing his ground for. The 9 of Wands doesn't quit, it endures. So even when he pulls back slightly, even when he pauses, he hasn't walked away. He's assessing how to move without losing himself. At this point in the reading, we're seeing the tension. He wants growth. He feels inspired, but he's also protecting old wounds. And the next card is going to tell us whether this guarded energy softens or hardens. And that matters. And so let's go ahead and bring in card 4. Let's do it. Thank you, Spirit. What is the energy as it does relate? And let's see what's coming through. As we bring in card 4. All right. Card 4 is manifestation. Okay, so yeah, this changes how we understand the Nine of Wands completely. Okay, manifestation energy, what he's doing internally. This tells me something very specific. Even though he's guarded, even though he's cautious, he's still envisioning you. He's not just reacting to you in the moment. He's imagining closeness. This is a man who thinks about what if, plays future scenarios in his head. He wonders what this could become and mentally rehearses possibilities. So while the Nine of Wands shows protection, manifestation shows intention. He hasn't shut the door. He's picturing what building with you could look like. Now, how this fits the story perfectly. Let's connect the sequence naturally. The destroyer, old patterns break. The creatrix, new potential opens. Nine of Wands, he protects himself. Manifestation, but he's still calling something in. And that's internal conflict, but it's productive conflict. He's not running, he's processing. Now, what this means for how he views you. He sees you as someone who could change his trajectory, shift his reality, and bring something tangible into his life. You're not just a person. You're a possibility. And that's powerful. Where does this connection lead next? At this point, the energy is building. He's holding the vision, but the next card will tell us what he believes he needs to do next. Does he take action? Does he wait? Does he self-sabotage? And the answer is coming. Let's go. Bring in card 5. What is the energy as it does relate? Let's see what's coming through. Card 5 is Virgo, the alchemist. Yeah, this is a powerful placement for this pile. Virgo energy is about refinement, intention, and conscious improvement. So in astrology, Virgo rules effort, discernment, daily habits. How do I make this better? And as the alchemist, Virgo doesn't rush. It transforms through care and precision. So when this man looks at you through this lens, he wants to get it right. He's thinking about how to show up correctly, and he's aware that details matter with you. This is not sloppy energy. How this man is processing you now. This tells me that he's analyzing his behavior, watching his words, checking his consistency, and trying not to repeat old mistakes. You activate his self-improvement mode. He knows you're not impressed by big talk. You notice effort, you notice follow through, you notice intention. And that's why this card comes after manifestation. Because now the question for him isn't, do I want this? It's, am I prepared to maintain it? How this fits the story so far. Let's line this up clean. The destroyer, old ways break, creatrix, new visions open, 9 of Wands, protection from past wounds, manifestation, imagining a future, Virgo, alchemist, refining himself to meet it. This is a man who understands that access to you requires intentional behavior, and he's adjusting. Now, we're at a crucial point because Virgo energy is about sustainability. The final card is going to tell us whether this transformation stabilizes or whether he overthinks himself into hesitation. And once the last card lands, we'll go straight into the total energetic frequency and close this out clean. All right, let's do it. Let's bring in card 6. What is the energy as it does relate? What's coming through? All right, you have the 9 of Wands energy. You have it twice in this pile. Okay. Listen up. And you got it twice in this pile, okay? And when a card repeats, that's not an accident. That's emphasis. This man is still standing. That's the message. He's tired, yes. Guarded, yes. Cautious, absolutely. But he hasn't walked away. The 9 of Wands twice tells me he's been tested. He's been burnt before, and he's learned the hard way. And because of that, he's careful with anything that actually matters. And you matter. Why this card repeating matters. Let's be very real. The repetition says this is not a man who gives up easily, but he also doesn't rush into things blindly anymore. You don't scare him off. You activate his resilience. He's not running. He's bracing. There's a difference. And the reason this card shows up twice is because Spirit is saying this connection requires patience. This man is moving deliberately. He's choosing endurance over impulse. Connecting the full story, pile 3. Let's pull it all together cleanly. Page of Pentacles, curiosity, potential, real beginnings. Destroyer, old patterns break. Creatrix, new possibilities open. 9 of Wands, protection from past wounds. Manifestation, envisioning a future. Virgo, alchemist, refining himself to meet it. 9 of Wands, again, commitment to keep going despite fear. This isn't chaotic energy. This is measured, intentional, hard-earned growth. The total energetic frequency for pile 3 is this. This man sees you as something worth the effort, but not something to approach casually. See, you represent growth that requires consistency, connection that requires self-awareness, potential that requires follow-through. He knows if he steps into this fully, he can't bring half versions of himself. And that's why he's still standing. Guard up, heart open, learning as he goes. Pile 3, the message is clear. Don't rush the process. Don't lower the standard. Don't doubt your impact. Some connections are fast. They're formative. And again, 3 for $33, limited time. If you want clarity that goes deeper than what can be shared publicly here, that's where the deeper layers unfold. Clarity family, trust the process, honor your worth, and remember what's meant to be built strong is built with intention.